Hello and welcome back to Art by the Lake. Today we've got a little bit different angle on things and we're shooting a follow-up video. If you tuned in to our previous video, we did a comparison of 4 different chemicals used to create cells. We poured equal mixtures of paint, and the only difference we used in each one was a different cell creator. We used the Coconut Milk Serum, which is all the way to your left, Silicone, which is the second from the left, Dimethicone, which is the third from the left, and alcohol, which is the one all the way on the right. Again, same paint mixture. We used 2 parts Floetrol, 1 part paint, 1 part distilled water. In the coconut example, we used just about 1 drop of coconut milk serum, silicone 2 or 3 drops per color, dimethicone 1 or 2 drops per color, and alcohol 2 or 3 drops per color. And I thought I would follow up because some of the changes happen a little bit after the paint moves around and as the paint dries. We are filming this one 5 days after we poured this paint. As you can see by looking at it, maybe it's a little bit harder to see now, but it was kind of chaotic. There is paint everywhere. I've never had to catch so much paint that was trying to drip onto the floor. We caught some of it, not all of it. And it's all over the table. I put down a garbage bag, so we're just going to pitch that when we're done. But I thought I would follow up, and I'm up on the camera rig now, so that I can move the camera around and zoom in. So I'll apologize ahead of time for the camera being a little bit shaky. But I want to zoom in and show you some of the differences. So I'm going to do that now, and we'll start with coconut. And I think you're going to find that for the most part, when we look very, very close at the coconut, you can maybe see just a few spots that are not dried. The cells have held pretty well, I think. I'm not crazy about the color combo of this one, but it has a neat look to it, and the cells have done well, and it has dried, like I said, a few spots that aren't dry. Next we will move over to the silicone. And the silicone, you'll find as we zoom in tighter, the silicone has dried pretty well. The cells have held pretty well. It is perhaps a little less dry than the coconut serum, but overall I think it's dried pretty well. Next you'll see quite a change, and I'm pretty sure you'll be able to see this as we zoom in, but I'm not really sure. This is the dimethicone, and we go out of our way not to create glare because some of the wet paint makes it very hard to see. And I'm looking at the camera now, it is a little bit hard to see. The dimethicone is still really, really wet. There are spots all over it that still look very glossy and very wet. And it's not exactly showing up on camera, but I think if we hit it at the right light, you'd see it. You can also see that around the cups, that the green colors are still really wet. 5 days later, the dimethicone has sort of prevented them from drying. And then finally, we have alcohol. The alcohol seemed to dry really well. It is probably the driest of the bunch. The alcohol sort of evaporates. And you'll see it has some cell retention, but a lot of the colors have blended together. It's still very interesting. I still like it. But I don't think the cells are as numerous as they are with the others. But again, it's an interesting display of color. So I'll pan back out and open up. I'll give you a little example of the chaos here. Let me see if I can get open wide enough here. Yeah, you really can't see. But the table is just absolutely covered in paint. And that's just a function of how much paint we poured. And I think we overestimated a little bit on paint. We have a name suggestion for this one, and I'm going to go with it. It was suggested by my niece, who was also just starting to pour paint and having a good time with it. We're going to call this one the Four Seasons of Chaos. I think that the alcohol is clearly winter, Dimethicone is clearly spring, Silicone is clearly summer, and Coconut is clearly fall. So we're going to go with the Four Seasons of Chaos. If you're interested in any of these, as they dry, we will get them out on our Etsy and eBay stores. So you can check them out there. But I think it's a good result. It gives you a good idea of cell production with these. It gives you a good idea of how long they take to dry. It's been my experience, I will tell you, that Dimethicone just takes forever to dry. So I'm not sure it's worth the trade-off there. As you can see, the cells aren't all that much better. So, but experiment. Try the ones that we have here, and I've seen people using all sorts of things to create cells. So experiment with your own and let us know. If you have any comments, please add them to the comments below in YouTube. You can find us at Artbythelake on YouTube. You can find us at Artbythelake on Etsy and Artbythelake on eBay. And those links will be at the end of this video. We are going to pour some paint today. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do because it's probably going to take a few hours just to clean up this mess. But I think this is a really good experiment, and I think it's really helpful to people that are just starting out. So again, thanks for tuning in. We are Artbythelake, and we will see you later.